Well, welcome in. Our first of the year. We're doing the late shift here at Enterprise Center. And our guest, a newcomer to the St. Louis Blues, Justin Faulk. Hey, welcome.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. How's it been so far, being a part of the thing?
It's been good. It's been fun. I've been getting settled in pretty good, and I'm sure as I go, it'll continue on and be more fun.
How did it kind of arrive at this point where you get traded to the St. Louis Blues, you get a new contract, you know, it kind of, be honest with you, hockey worldwide, because you're dealing with it day to day, but hockey from the hockey world, it kind of set everyone in their heels a little bit. How did it all transpire?
It was quick. I guess I was out to dinner one night and with some friends, and it was late. It was about a 9 o'clock call that said something's in the works with St. Louis, and it might happen. And so we started talking the contract quick, and I think by Tuesday night I was here. I think it was, and that's the way it happens in hockey. I guess I was lucky to be able to sign a contract and have a little bit of time knowing that it was going to happen, and it wasn't just a quick phone call and then right to the airport. It gave me a day or two, but it's quick, and I'm not the first or the last person that's going to happen to.
So you arrive in St. Louis, and immediately, there's you're meeting people. It's your first time to change a team, but you're kind of thrown into a whole new environment. What's that like, the nervousness or the anxiety, a little bit to that?
I don't know. You're just kind of walking around, trying to figure your way around. Don't
Bad
really know
start
where
there
you're
with
going.
Banger. I mean, bad direction right away.
I was thrown right into the fire, I guess. No, it was good. I think it's something new, but it was welcomed, and I was excited for it. And just taking a little bit of time to get to know guys, and you can see here we're talking about my gear. That's probably the toughest thing as a player,
Right.
figuring out your gear, let alone the hockey stuff. It's still playing hockey, and the guys are always good, and they make it easy on you.
Adam Wilcox was here.
Yeah.
Buddy of yours.
Yeah.
You didn't even know he was backing up that night. You walked in and you're like, hey, my buddy's out here.
I had a bunch of texts going all day, and I had seen a couple a group chat between our moms and us, and I just kind of thought it was a congrats or him probably laughing at me, saying, you got traded. That's usually our conversations. But then he sent me another one and said, I'm still here. I had no idea that he was still around, and it was awesome. It actually made it a lot easier probably for me to know someone that well at camp, and gave me someone to spend some time with away from the rink right away.
Sure. It's a little bit uncomfortable. What were you thinking when, you come to this team, and obviously there's the hoopla of the, ring ceremony, White House, banner raising and all of that, and was it a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit weird right away, or were you just anxious and saying, hey, I'm on a good team, I'm excited about this?
I was excited to be on a good team. I was coming, obviously we all know what happened last year, and be a part of the team, to have an opportunity to keep going, keep having success, and try and take another run at it is exciting. I spent a long time early in my career, obviously not playing in the playoffs, so it's exciting, and I've had some success last year with Carolina, but to come to another team that's doing well and not having to start over is huge.
Well, I know you had talked a little bit to Osh and Butsy, I think, called you, Chris Butler. And they talked to you about, hey, you're going to love it and everything. And I know the guys here said, I asked a few of your teammates, and they said, wouldn't it be great to win one for him? Now win another one. So he gets the opportunity. And you come from Carolina, as you said, not been in the playoffs a lot and not had a lot of playoff experience. What was that like? I mean, you get drafted by them, and then all of a sudden, that's where you cut your teeth. You don't know anything different.
Yeah, it's the way it goes, I guess. I enjoyed my time there, and it was great. But to be honest, I never really envisioned that I'd spend my whole career in one spot. I mean, a lot of people get traded, and if you play a long career, the odds are that you're going to end up on a different team eventually. And like you said, Osh had called me and Butsy, and they made it easy and told me that how great the city is, and it's a welcome right away. I didn't really ask anyone until it actually happened, so I didn't know, and I didn't know many guys here, to be honest, either. But like I said, we're hockey players, and we're all kind of cut from the same cloth, so we make it easy on each other.
So I know you wouldn't know this, but there's a guy in the league that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and he has a tremendous amount of respect for you. And I reached out to him because I used to room with him, and I said, hey, I want to know a little bit. I got to do an interview. And this guy, who was your coach, Rod Brindamore, said to me, he said, "You're gonna love him, Chaser. He's old school, but he's a gamer," and he went on and on. He said so many good things. Did you know who Rod Brindamore was as a player when you were growing up?
You'd heard the whole Rod the Bod stuff and whatnot, and I played college, so you kind of hear about it, some stories of him in college and whatnot. But to be honest, I was in Minnesota. I didn't probably get those games and watch too much of them. But you had heard, and obviously I got to know him real well in Carolina, and he's got the same attitude today, I think, as he did when he was a young guy.
Okay, so that you were talking about the Rod the Bod thing because he brought something up. He said Justin is extremely dedicated to his craft. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, listen, he works with this, is it an ARP machine?
ARP, yeah.
ARP.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a muscle stim.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, now, he goes, I'd rather have him work out with me for 45 minutes than be 2 hours with this.
Yeah.
But he said to put in that kind of time every day to it, he said, shows the dedication he's got to it. Tell us what that is. What is it?
I don't do the justice, I don't think, of explaining it, but it stands for Accelerated Recovery Program. It's something a lot of guys, there's a decent amount of guys in the league using it, and I do it a lot, and I'm hooked up. It looks funky, I got cords everywhere, but it fits the mold of what it is. I think it helps me recover faster, and I use it to train too in that aspect, but there's a bunch of different stuff. I'm still in the gym sometimes doing the normal bench press and stuff. I just have a little machine and cords with me, but it's a sight to see at first, probably. It's a little shocking to people that have never seen it, but like I said, it's time consuming for sure, and I guess I'm in a spot where I don't have kids or anything yet, so I can go home and take the time.
Good for you. And so that leads me into another good friend of mine that I reached out to, and in Skip Cunningham. And the skipper, of course, is this trainer, everyone beloved in the league by everyone, especially the guys that played in Hartford or Carolina. And he said, Chaser, this guy loves fishing. He goes, everybody gets a bye week, everybody goes south, gets to the Bahamas, Cabo. He goes up ice fishing. Is that a good scoop?
That's true. The last few years I've gone back to Minnesota and sat on the ice and been a little cold and sat in.
That's not ice there. That's
no,
tremendous.
no,
and a tournament fisherman too.
Not very good, but they take my donation and go from there. Yeah, I like to fish. We got a good group of guys back home that I hang out with that all love to fish, and that's our hobby, and that's my getaway. And I'll do it throughout the season. I've already done it once since I've been here.
Oh, good.
Well, I was in Toronto actually, but we had a day off and I went fishing. It just gives me something to do and gives me something to take my mind off hockey, and it's a good spot for me to relax and get away.
So you and Dustin Bufflin are friends, and you guys get out fishing, and I believe you fished in a tournament with Dustin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, well, there's Buff there.
Yeah.
So how does that evolve into this? Do these guys kind of say, hey, come on, or you can just enter in any tournament? Because this is a big deal in Minnesota, man.
A friend probably set us up in this one a little bit more. We probably shouldn't be fishing in it. But like I said, we're not taking any money from them because we're not doing well enough. So they're probably all right with it. We're paying the entry fee, and they're the ones taking all our money. Like I said, there's probably 6-7 of us that hang out quite a bit in that group, and we all fish those tournaments together, or it's actually against each other. We're all in our boats by ourselves, which is Marshall, and it's fun. It's a week-long event usually, and we enjoy ourselves probably, maybe a little too much sometimes, but it's fishing,
right.
and that's what it is. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to step back a little bit because I didn't mean to mention this. You're part of the Storm Surge, this marketing campaign put on. What's the genesis of that? Who originated? Who said, hey, this is what we're going to do? And then how did you guys? I mean, obviously it blew up.
Yeah. I think Justin Williams had mentioned when we got there at the start of the year that the team wants us to do something to find a way to interact with the fans. I know the owner there didn't like that fans left early, and they wanted them to stay through the end of the game and kind of be around. And obviously we hadn't had much success, and we needed to find a way to connect with the fans. And we started with the clap, and that's what it was. And then someone came in and was like, well, if we just do the clap all day, it's going to be no different than a stick salute. So that's
right.
what we've been doing in the past. So I don't remember what the first one was. I know we changed up direction quick, and then it just evolved. If you had an idea, it was throw it out there and we can run with it. And guys were sitting at pregame meal just throwing out ideas, and we'd come to the rink and the plan would be up there. And if we won, we knew what we were doing.
Okay, so the duck hunt one, you're one of the guys in the duck blind here. And this is one of the ones. And then I think when you said goodbye to Carolina, that was the picture you had out there, correct?
Yeah, that was actually the only one I had an idea for. I came up with the duck hunt, and Furls loves to hunt too, so I was like, hey, let's do it. We'll go on the benches and throw out the gloves, or I don't know. And then the marketing team or whoever does the Jumbotron had their fun with it too and threw it on the board. And it was cool. I think the fans loved it, and they're continuing it this year, it looks like, a little bit. And to have fans engaged and loving something and being a part of it, it's hard to not enjoy that when they're the ones that are making this game possible for us.
Now, of course, one of the most popular Canadians in the history of that country would be Don Cherry, and he was the guy that said, what a bunch of jerks. And that took a life of its own again as well. And how did that play with the guys? Because I'm sure there's a lot of Canadian guys in that locker room that really love Don Cherry.
Oh, yeah, all the Canadians grew up watching every night, right? And or every Saturday night, whatever, or Friday, I don't know.
Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada.
So we think it's funny. I think the team ran with it quite a bit and sold the shirts, threw the name around all the time. And guys, I mean, we're roasted every day on Twitter by somebody somewhere. This guy just happened to be on TV doing it and giving us a bunch of crap, but we didn't care. It was funny, and the team ran with it, and that's what we were doing. So we did too.
Well, good. And you know what? I got to tell you, first of all, we're going to make sure that the people start sending in requests to the team where you can go hunting and fishing, and who's got land. He's getting into bow. You tell me you're getting into bow hunting. Where we got some fish, we know that we got stocked up. We'll have all that set up for you, because that's what they do in St. Louis. And they always say that there's 7 degrees of separation. In St. Louis, there's 1. Everyone's got a guy. Okay, so we're going to get you a guy. Okay,
perfect.
And then the other thing is we're grateful that you're here. I know these guys want to win a cup, so you get to hoist it, and we hope you love it here, and you're here for a long time.
Yeah, thanks. I'm super excited to be here and ready for a fun year and whatever, 7 more after that, I guess. So.
Well, there's a lot of experience in that room, and I know you recognize that. And so hopefully you guys will grab a hold of that and keep running.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we appreciate your time. That's the late shift. I'm here with Justin Faulk, and terrific interview. Thanks, my man. I'll see you around.
Thank you.
All right.